Hey y'all, it's Katie. Welcome back to From My Vanity, and welcome to a bunch of tutorials all featuring Kristen Leigh Cosmetics Mean Green Collection. Now, I typically, when I do these types of videos, tutorials slash reviews, I do 3 looks, 1 palette, or 1 collection, and that's all I do. I do the 3. But today, I do want to go ahead and do a couple more. I'm going to do a total of 5 tutorials because I want to be able to feature each one of these shadows in a look, and I just couldn't fit it into 3 looks because they are all shimmer. There are no mattes, so I have to use other mattes in my crease, and then I can only do about 2, 3 tops when it comes to what I put on my eyes. So there are going to be 5 tutorials, and since there is so much, I am going to be cutting it a little bit shorter than I typically do. I'm not going to show you guys what I'm doing for my eyeliner, my mascara, my highlighter, my lips. I'm just going to focus on this collection specifically, what I use, and then also whatever I use to complement it, like the matte shades and stuff like that. I'll show that. So yeah, with that said, let me know if you guys are okay with this. I've never done this type of thing before, so feel free to give me, feedback below in the comments. Are you someone who just really likes to see what lipstick? Could you, skip on knowing what liner I use or what mascara I use, that kind of thing? You just would like to know what's on my eyes, lips, and highlight or something like that. Feel free to give me your feedback down below, but for this video we're just going to focus on the eyeshadow and we can move right along, and this video isn't too long. So with that said, I'm going to stop talking and let's just jump right into the tutorials.
Alright, so for the first look, I'm taking the Colourpop Keep Scrolling and I'm putting that in my crease just to warm it up and get that color going. And then I'm going next in with this shade from Gimme Glow. It's their Ultra Matte and Limeade. And I'm putting that directly into the crease and blending it into that shade that I just had put down from Colourpop. Once I like how the two are blended together, I took this deeper green Spanish Moss from NBA Cosmetics and I'm putting that in my outer corner. And then I am using a glitter glue. I used the NBA one this time. And then I took this first shade from Kristen Leigh called Ambivalent, I think is the name, and I'm putting that on my outer corner. This shade is like super smooth, very easy to apply. It's a nice deep tone and it's just very effortless. I would say, if anything, it's more of a shimmer. It's more of a soft shimmer. It's not super metallic or sparkly, but it is still really pretty. And then next I'm going in with the shade Savvy and I'm putting that on the inner half, kind of taking it up and almost making that cut crease look with it. Now Savvy is gorgeous, but it definitely is more of a translucent shade. It's not super pigmented and it has a lot of glitter in it, so this is definitely a shade I would say is more of a best used for a topper, just because I had to really work with it to get it to build up the color so that you couldn't see through the color. But the glitter reflectiveness of it is absolutely stunning. I just wish I had put down a lighter tone, maybe one of the other shades first, one of the other shimmer shades first, before putting that on top, just so that I couldn't see my skin through it because it looked a little weird, and that's why I took so much time kind of packing it on and building it up. And then I'm taking that first shade that I use, Ambivalent I think is the name, and I'm using that to smudge on my lower lash line. And then finishing off with the Kristen Leigh shades, I'm taking Shamrock and I'm using that on the inner half of my lower lash line. Shamrock's a really nice, smooth, shimmery shade. It's definitely more reflective and it's got more color to it, so I like this shade and it was really easy to use to smudge out on my lower lash line. And then last up, I'm just taking Limeade once again and kind of meshing all those colors together to make sure it's really effortless and seamless. And then for the inner corner, I am taking this Karma shade from Makeup Geek. It's one of her older shadows. I don't know if it's still available, but I used it as my inner corner highlight. And that is the first look. As you can see, I feel like it's a little translucent on the inner half, like to see how pigmented the other shades are. And then that shade that I put down, the Savvy shade, you can tell, you can kind of see through it, but like I said, it's very reflective and glittery. I just wish I had gone down with maybe Bitter or Curious or something like that and really gave it a pop of color before going on top with the glitter, just because, like I said, it was just a little see-through. But besides that, I really liked how this look turned out. I thought it was really pretty and overall was just a great introduction. This was the first look I did using these shadows and it's just a gorgeous green look. So for the second look, I'm going into this Gimme Glow eyeshadow in Orange Soda Pop. I started by first putting it in very pointedly, but this brush was a little too pointed. I needed something a little bigger to fluff it out and really blend it out so there wasn't any harsh lines, so that's why I switched up the brush halfway through. And then once I liked how it was blended out, I took this shade, it's called Light Tangerine from Coastal Scents, and I'm putting that right on top just to help with the blend. I'm using the NYX Glitter Primer before I go on with the first shadow in Camo, and I am packing Camo on the outer corner. This is another one of those very pigmented shimmers. It's very reflective and it's very sparkly, but it is more of like a smooth type of shimmer. It's still very reflective and it goes on super easy. I really like this shade. For the lid, I am taking Shamrock and I'm putting that all over just because I enjoyed it so much in the previous look, just using it on my lower lash line, so I wanted to put it all over my lid. Once again, very pleased with it. It's just so smooth and easy. The pigmentation is really nice in it. It takes no work to apply. It's a very soft shadow, so it's very easy to pick it up on a brush and just apply it to my lid very smoothly. And then once I blend everything together, I am going on my lower lash line and I'm taking, once again, the shade Camo and putting that on my outer lower lash line just to kind of connect everything together. And then also taking that orange soda pop from Gimme Glow and buffing it all out just to make sure everything's nice and smooth. And then I'm going in with the shade Savvy for my inner corner, and I am going to be wetting this first. After using it in the first look, I felt like it would work really well as an inner corner. It just needed something to kind of hold it together with the glitter. And as you can see, with it wet a little bit, it does a really good job as an inner corner highlight because I don't mind it being a little translucent and not super pigmented when I'm using it on my inner corner. And that's going to be the look. As you can see, I like how this look turned out. The orange with the green is really pretty, and I just felt like all the shadows that I used was very smooth. As I said, I really liked using Savvy on my inner corner just because I didn't have to worry about it not being as pigmented, and wetting it a little bit just helped to bond everything together really nice. So overall, yeah, I really like this look, and it also wore really well, and yeah, I just really liked how this look turned out. Okay, going on to the next look, I'm taking Courtney from Divina and I am putting that into my crease. I'm putting down a glitter primer first because I'm going to go on with the shade Indulge, and this does have a good bit of glitter in it, so I want to make sure I didn't get too much crazy fallout. And yes, I nicked my finger in it, as you could see up there. But anyway, I'm just packing this on, and while this is a very glittery shade, as I kind of said with the previous glitter, it was a little not intense, not super pigmented, but this one is actually nicely pigmented. I thought the color in it is really nice. I didn't feel like it needed to have a shade underneath it to really make it pop. So this one, I was really happy that I could use it on my outer corner, and it is so reflective. Like, the sparkle in it is 10 times more beautiful in person, trust me. And then for the main lid area, I'm going to go in with Fathom. This is a really pretty shade as well. This is definitely more of a shimmer, almost verging on metallic, I would say. It's just very intense, but it's that smooth type of formula. There's nothing too like glittery or reflective in it. The pigmentation is very nice, and it's another one of those shades that just glides right onto the lid. It's so smooth that I feel like it could kind of get that half-cut crease look without needing to use concealer or anything like that. So really liked how this turned out. And then to just kind of mesh everything together and really help it blend and diffuse up into the crease shade well, I took the shade Moss from Sydney Grace Cosmetics, and I'm taking on a really detailed brush and just meshing the two together, focusing more on the outer corner, but just working it until I like the blend and how seamless everything looks. I'm also taking Moss onto my lower lash line right against where I put the black in my waterline just to deepen that out, and then I'm taking Courtney, which I used in my crease, and just diffusing and blending them all together, focusing Courtney on the inner half of my lower lash line and just blending it into the darker shade. And then for my inner corner, I am using Entitled Mint. This shade is really pretty in the pan. It looks beautiful, but I found it was a bit tricky to use. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but when I was applying it, it was wanting to kind of patch up a little bit, just a touch. Like I said, I don't think you can really see on camera, but it was just a little more chunky than I like to use in my inner corner. But yeah, that is the completed look. I really like this mix of like the blue-green with the grungy crease. I thought that was a really fun mix. Though I will say that her shimmers, or just her formula in general, can travel up into your crease throughout the day. If I use a glitter glue and try not to go too overboard with the shadow, it can stay relatively well, but besides that, it wears beautifully throughout the day, and I didn't notice any creasing with any of her formulas. Okay, the next look, I think this is number 4. I'm using this Coastal Scents teal green shade, and I am putting this all into my crease, just packing it in there. I'm first using it on a big fluffy brush to diffuse it, and then I'm going in with a more pointed brush to build it up and intensify in my crease to almost get a two-tone effect with just using the same shadow. And then going into Endeavor. This shade is beautiful, and while it is a shimmer, I thought it worked really well as an outer corner color, and as you can see, like, it blends up into the mattes really nice and smooth. I felt like I didn't have to work too hard to blend it into the matte shades, which can be tricky depending on the type of shimmer you're putting on the outer corner. Sometimes the formula is just too stiff. It doesn't allow it to blend effortlessly into the matte, and it can take some work. But this shade and the Kristen Leigh Cosmetics formula in general is very smooth and very soft, so it's very easy to blend up into your crease. For my lid shade, I'm going in with Curious, which is a really beautiful shimmer shade. This is a really unique color when it comes to green because it's kind of like a green, blue, mint. I don't know, it's just beautiful. I'm really bad at describing colors, but this shade again is very smooth as it goes on. I did not use a glitter primer underneath this look as you saw, but still just applying it with a more precise brush, I felt like I got that half cut crease look. It's a little bit softer, but it still has that look to it, and I didn't have to use anything underneath it to prep it. It's just a really pigmented, smooth formula, and I really like that. And then for my lower lash line, I'm just taking that Endeavor shade and smudging it out on my lower lash line. As I said, this formula is so smooth that doing this was very easy and effortless, and it just gave that little bit of shine to my lower lash line that I thought was really pretty. And then taking Teal Me, I'm just kind of blending it all and meshing it all together until I like how it looks. And then using Mojito, I'm going to use that as my inner corner highlight. This shade is really, really beautiful. I wish that I had used it more, on my lid shade just because it's so pretty and reflective. It's very bright pigmented, and it has just a shiftiness to it that is stunning. I loved it on my inner corner, but this was definitely a shade when I used it. I was like, ooh, I want to use this like all over my lid. I feel like it's just so beautiful. And yeah, that is going to be the final look. I didn't mention it before, but the reason I had one eye done was because I forgot to charge my camera battery that day, so I did my whole face and the other eye while I was waiting for enough charge to record my other eye. But anyway, this is the final look. I absolutely love how it turned out. You guys know I like my deep, dark outer corners, just smoking it out. This was definitely one of my top favorites. I absolutely loved it, and it wore beautifully throughout the day. There was no creasing or fading of the color on my lid, and because there was no glitter on it, there wasn't any fallout on my face or anything like that. This just wore really beautifully throughout the day. Okay, I think this is the final look. I am taking this first shade in Soldier. It's from NBA Cosmetics, and I am warming my crease up with it, just kind of really working it in and buffing it in until I like how it looks. And then I'm going on with Endeavor once again and packing this on my outer corner. I told you guys I really like this shade, and I just had to use it again. Then, as I said before, I really liked how the shade Mojito looked, so I did reach for that once again, and I'm using this wet this time and putting it on my main lid area, just all over there, kind of creating that half-cut crease look. As you can see, it's really beautiful. It's a lot lighter than I noticed the day before, just because the day before I was using it on my inner corner, so I wanted it light and bright and didn't mind it. But using it on my lid, it was just a little, not that it was bad, but it almost looked so light that I almost felt like it was showing my lid through the shade, if that makes sense. But it's just, I think the color itself is just that very light and bright look. But anyway, I'm putting this down because I'm going to be putting some glitter primer from NYX down and then topping it with the shade Triumph. This is a really glittery type of metallic shade, so I wanted to have something underneath it because, like I had done in my first look using Savvy, that glitter shade all over my lid, it was very translucent and transparent, so I wanted to put a shade down. Triumph, I would say, is a little more pigmented than Savvy, but it is a little bit see-through, so I am glad I had a shade down before it. Anyway, moving on, I'm taking that Moss shade and I am running that along my lower lash line, and then taking Soldier and just continuing to kind of smudge and diffuse the lower lash line. And then finally, I'm going to be using Bitter as my inner corner. This is another shade that when I used it, I was like, oh my goodness, I want this all over my eyelid. I should have done this and used this all over my eyelid because I like it so much. It is so pigmented and so smooth. It just took no time to build up, and it's so bright it almost looks neon. And then to finish the look out, I did use a neon green liquid liner from JD Glow Cosmetics, so that's what the line in my inner crease is. But yeah, that is going to be the completed look. I really like how it turned out, and using the neon liner in my crease really makes the neonness of the green in my inner corner really pop. So overall, like I said, it's really hard for me to pick a favorite, but I absolutely loved how this look turned out, and it was definitely a favorite of mine.
Alright, so those are all the tutorials. This is the third look that you guys saw. But yeah, since we did the tutorial that way, I was really able to go in depth and give you guys my thoughts on each individual shadow. For this end of the video, kind of summarizing my thoughts, I did want to swatch them all out and then tell you guys which ones I like, and also kind of like if I were to have to buy this collection again, which ones would I actually want to buy and which ones would I probably not buy, and do it like that. I didn't say it in the beginning, but I was sent these products from Kristen Leigh Cosmetics. I bought 2 originally. I can't remember which ones. I bought them on the Black Friday sale, and then it took over 2 months, maybe even, I think it was like almost 3 months for her to ship it, and because it took so long, she did end up sending the whole collection, which I thought was really nice. So let's just go ahead, and as I summarize my thoughts, I'm gonna swatch them all out. Today it is kind of broken up weird, but there is a method to my madness. I would say, just from initial perspective, there are 3 very different formulas in here that I notice when using them on my eyes. There's more of just the typical, like not typical, but traditional shimmers / metallic shadows, which I feel like are all these up here. There is a very flaky type of metallic, which I think is this one. And then there is a glitter, very heavily glitter laden formula, which are these 3. So let's just go ahead and swatch them out as I talk about them. Curious is really beautiful. I love all, if I just had to buy one of these kind of collections, I would buy these shades, you know, Curious especially, because it is just a typical shimmer. I like eyeshadows, especially for my lid, that are smooth, but they're still extremely reflective. Just because I have so much texture, I don't like emphasizing that, and I don't like to have to worry about fallout throughout the day or flaking with the shadows. So that's why I really like these first, what is it, 6, 7, 8 that I'm going to show you. And if I had to recommend any, I would recommend any of the ones in here. If you are someone who likes my taste when it comes to like eyeshadows and stuff on your lid, you like it shiny but not flaky, not glittery, any of these first 8 you're going to like. Did I even say that is bitter? So that is bitter. This next one is Endeavor. I mean, you guys have already seen them applied to my eyes, but I just wanted to swatch them out. I know I don't usually do this, but I thought it might be helpful because this isn't a palette, so it's not like you're just buying one thing. You can pick and choose, so I figured it'd be helpful to not only see them on my eyes, but see them swatched out. This is Camo, and this one is really pretty too. If you're someone who likes more grungy neutral, but still, you know, that green, this is a good one too. Is this the one I bought? I forget. I feel like I might have bought Camo. I can't remember the shades I bought, but I really like that. Let's go on to the next one, which is Shamrock. This was a pretty one that I used, I think for 2 looks. I can't even remember at this point. They all kind of blur together. This is really beautiful. The beauty of this, I feel like, doesn't come across on camera at all, but it is a green with a goldy, dirty green. Like it's green, but there is a shift to it, and I can't explain it. I'll have her website linked down below, and I'm sure she kind of goes and explains each of the shades, so you can get some more information there. But there's definitely something about this shade right here that it's very duochromy, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. This next one is Ambivaliant, I think. I feel like I am totally mispronouncing that. Can I speak? This one is really pretty. It's probably my least favorite, but I mean, it's nice. If you like shimmer on the outer corner, it's a nice one. It's just much more of just a very gentle, soft shimmer, but it is still really beautiful. All of these ones that I'm swatching now, they're very smooth when they go on the lid. You don't have to worry about any kind of crumbling. They don't take any work to put on. They're just very smooth and effortless, I find, and that's what I like. This next one that I didn't even tell you is Fathom. This one is what I used for the 3rd look, which I'm wearing today. Really pretty, just so smooth, so effortless, so beautiful. And this next one, which is the last in kind of all the shimmers, is Mojito. This is another one that has that minty kind of green, but from the side you also catch a lot of gold reflex, so it's a really pretty kind of, I think that's what a duochrome is. I throw words around and then people always tell me in the comments, be like, Katie, that's not actually what it's called. So there's something about this that is beautiful. Like, you don't really see it. I don't know, maybe you can see it if I turn, but it's like definitely like that minty green, but when you catch it, the sides of it, you see a lot of gold shining through. Kind of the same with this, except that one's almost like a lime greeny gold with the dark green. It's beautiful. So yeah, these are all the shimmers that I feel like are just really nice, smooth, easy. If you're someone who just like a one and done, you don't want to worry about fallout, you don't want to have to struggle to put it on, any one of these I feel like you will be very happy with. You just kind of have to pick the color that you like. On this side, I'll go ahead and put the rest of them. This is Enlightened Mint. Now this is what I used on my inner corner for this look, and then I went ahead and put it on the first third of it. This one is really pretty when you swatch it, but I don't like working with it. This is one of those that is extremely beautiful in a swatch. It's very pretty on your eyes. It's gorgeous, but I find it very tricky to apply. As you guys saw in my tutorial, I used this just on my inner corner, and it was very flaky and chunky. It was hard to get a smooth application of this, which is something that I don't like to have. Like, it can work, yes, and you know, I got it on my eyes. I have it on the inner, you know, third of it, but something that I find with these types of shadows is that they can get very chunky, which I don't particularly like. These next three are the ones that are very metallic, but they have glitter in them. So I found, as I already mentioned, a lot of glitter fallout throughout the day, even with glitter glue, which isn't my preference, so that's why I've kind of separated them. This first one is Savvy. Because it's not my preference, these are definitely going to be shadows that I have to be in the mood for. They're very beautiful, they're very reflective, they're stunning, but I just don't like glitter fallout all over my face. It's just an annoyance of mine, a pet peeve of mine. I feel like it makes my makeup look kind of dirty and worn, and I don't like that. This is Triumph. But again, this is a personal preference, so if you're someone who loves glitter, then you're probably not going to be phased at all, and you guys can see it now, and you know, if you like it, you can get it. This one too, Triumph, it has a very dark green base, but then the glitter in it is a very light lime green, I guess you could say. It's really, really pretty. This one is what I have on my outer corner or outer third. It's Indulge. This one, again, it has a dark base, but it has more of a blue. It's still kind of in the green family, but it has kind of like a blue shifting type of glitter to it. That's why I kind of separated them into the groups that you see here. I'll go ahead and stick up with close-ups so I don't look like a crazy person. But yeah, here are the close-ups of these. I think they're all beautiful. It just depends on your preferences. So for me personally, when I was sitting down to do this video, I wanted to break it up into which ones I foresee myself using. If I lost this whole stack again and I wanted to buy more to replace it, I would definitely pick a couple of my favorite shades from these here. I think it just depends on what I personally want. One of the reasons I didn't buy the whole collection when it first launches, because I feel like I have similar shades of these two in my collection. I think one's from Sydney Grace. This kind of looks like the one from Colourpop, so there are similar ones in my collection, so I don't feel like I need to have the whole collection. But with that said, there are definitely very unique ones. Like I was saying, these two are definitely unique and they're very beautiful. I think this is probably my favorite. I just like that shiftiness. This is also really nice. I've been getting more into like the shimmer on the outer corner. I don't mind that, and this is very easy to work with, so I love that about it. So yeah, it just comes down to preferences on what you want, but that would be kind of like my recommendation. What I enjoyed the most were these top 8. Really don't foresee myself using this that often just because it's so chunky and textured. And then these 3, I just have to be in the mood for glitter, and I have to understand that I'm going to get glitter all over my face, and I have to be okay with that. So that is going to do it for this video featuring the Mean Green collection from Kristen Leigh Cosmetics. I hope you guys found this helpful and informative. Let me know down below which type of eyeshadow you prefer and enjoy working with, which shades you would be most interested in getting it if you got this collection, or if you were to get this collection. And if you got this collection, please let me know which ones you got, if you just picked a couple, or let me know which one is your favorite if you have the whole collection. I'd love to hear. But overall, I was just very happy working with this collection. The quality of her shadows are definitely outstanding. I thought they were exceptional. They, as I said, these are just so smooth, so easy to work with, and I can't wait to try more from her. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know how you like this style of format in doing a collection like this that didn't have any mattes that I could use, with it just being shimmers. Let me know if you guys liked how I did more looks and just kind of kept the details of everything else I used with the eyeshadows, kind of out of it. Let me know if you guys are okay with that for future reference if I ever have to do this again. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this or found it helpful, informative, whatever the case may be, please give it a thumbs up before you leave. And thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, with all that said, I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye guys.